Hey, guys, my name is Jason Miller, and I'm a 1987 graduate of Waverly High School. Was very fortunate in my time at Waverly to play for some great coaches, and later on in my adult life, being associated with great coaches, whether on the field with me or working for them. And I'd like to say a few words about Coach McClough. He was my athletic director when I started coaching at Waverly. Is very supportive. And, it makes me think about all the times that as a coach, you think about all the relationships you have, not only with just your players, but with your colleagues in coaching. And I go back to the 1980s and I look at some of the football teams, and of course, everybody's going to talk about the wrestling. I can't talk from that perspective, having been a basketball player. I do remember Coach as a football coach, a JV coach, and I remember his coaching, his coaches that coached with him. If you think about back in the 80s, how fortunate we were to have such great coaches, including Coach McClough. But in these times like this, I think about the closeness of Coach McClough and Coach Hughes, but I also think about coaches in other sports. Coach McMahon, Coach Millard, early on Coach Geppert in football. So this probably reaches a lot of people in understanding. I think the one compliment that I think most of us would agree to, no matter how old you were or when you played or wrestled for these coaches, and this is what comes to mind to me for Coach McClough, is that you referred to him as coach, and that's the greatest compliment you can give anybody. To this day, I still referred to Coach McClough as coach, Coach Hughes as coach, Coach McMahon as coach. It's kind of something lost on today's kids. I don't know if they understand that quite as well, different times. But one of the stories I'd like to share about Coach McClough is, and I think everybody talk about his wrestling pedigree and how great of a coach he was, and certainly that is true, and the numbers speak for themselves. But the one thing that I think about is how passionate he was. In my experience closely working with him as a coach and athletic director relationship. And he was just passionate about all the sports and was very supportive. One particular incident, I got hired again in 2004 as a varsity coach, and the Waverly hadn't won a game in 2 years. And I think our first game was on the road at Lansing. And they had a very good team, and we ended up beating that team on their home field. And I remember in his eyes, and actually he had teared up when he congratulated me after the game. It certainly doesn't show, him as a weak man. It shows him as a strong man, and he believed in me and gave me a chance. And I'm very grateful to this day. Here we are in 2020. And a lot of games later, I'm still around. So, also, like other people have mentioned, I think of all the great wrestlers that we had that were really close to me, that are good buddies to this day, with Welchie and Tommy Kingston. And, I remember that 80s group with Myron and Bobby, and even going back, my first memories of Waverly Wrestling was Todd Northrup. So, there's just so many kids that came through and now are adults, and as we get older and older, these are the things that happen that remind us of where we were and where we're at now. And so I guess the lesson to take from it is be passionate, love what you do. Certainly Coach did that. My condolences to the entire McClough family, the entire wrestling family. And this is a loss for our community. But try to think about all the great things that he accomplished and all the great people that he reached that have gone on also to do great things in their life, and attribute a lot of that success to Coach McClough. I hope everybody's well. Tough loss, and I hope everybody has fond memories and can think of the good things. Have a great day. Thank you.